people have waited for finally is here. We're going to have a president that's going to unite us rather than divide us.
Now, it's a celebration for everybody. This is history in the making right now.
It's so exciting, and I'm just like overwhelmed. I'm emotional.
I felt like I had 4 years of tension released from my body.
Well, there you have it. Young voters chose Joe Biden over President Trump by a margin of 61 to 36% back in 2020. But that support plunging in a couple of new polls among 18 to 25-year-olds. The president's approval is down 21 points to just 39%. That's in Gallup. And just 21% of 18 to 34-year-olds approve, according to Quinnipiac. Here to talk about it, some young voters from all sides of the aisle. Jaelyn Douglas, a 20-year-old college student and chief communications officer of her college newspaper. She is a registered Republican. Jahmiel Jackson is also a 20-year-old college student, but a registered Democrat. And Jake Lauritzen is 27, a strategy professional at Carrington Mortgage Holdings and Villa Real Estate Brokerage, and he is an independent. Thank you all for coming on. I very much appreciate it. I'd like to start with you, Jake, because you're an independent, so you're kind of always on the fence. Has the president, what has he done to either impress you or disappoint you?
Well, I think it's been a pretty crazy last year or so. Everything that's going on with the economy right now makes it very tough to give him a whole ton of credit. However, I can't say that it's all, the current president's fault. I think that the pandemic kind of changed our entire economy. We started spending a lot of money, and now we're paying for it through really high inflation.
Yeah, it's Jahmiel, you're a Democrat. I'm curious, why are young Democrats, you see these polls, you see the plunging numbers, why are they so disenchanted with this president?
I think many people like me who are Democrats and who are young, we voted for Joe Biden because he talked about the future. He talked about uniting us. I think we all want to look to see what our futures might look like. I think when you ask us 20-year-olds, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? That's growing increasingly hard because of the war, because of inflation, because of the economy. And I think that's why you see the drop in polls.
Do you not feel united, Jahmiel? Do you not feel like the president has done what he promised to do so far?
I think he's only reached his 2-year mark. I think there's still a lot of work to be done. You can't fix an entire country in 4 years. It's still a promise that we need to see. But I think his administration has made many strides in unity, such as the infrastructure bill, as well as like COVID packages for all citizens and not just Democrats, but for independents and Republicans as well.
So many, Jaelyn, so many disappointments that you young people have kind of just checked off. And you're the Republican, you're the conservative of the bunch. And so I got a feeling that you probably didn't vote for Joe Biden. Maybe you did. But my question is, are you surprised by the drop in the numbers among young people supporting him?
I'm actually really surprised. I mean, it just gives me a lot of hope for this generation. I didn't expect I think a lot of people voted for this administration because they expected unity, kind of like Jahmiel said. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of young voters becoming educated and seeing the failures of this administration. And it's really exciting to see.
Yeah, I want to put these numbers on the screen if I can and get your response to these, because we talk about young voters, but his job approval is also syncing with Black and Hispanic voters. And you can see right there, down significantly from April of 2021 to April of 2022 among whites, down to 31%, Black support 63%, Hispanic support down to 26%. And I'm wondering if you think, Jake, that there's a way to kind of, before the midterms, is there a way that you think that he could rally the base of his party and maybe some independents by maybe student loans, erasing student loan debt? Would that be the trick?
Personally, for me, I don't think that would be the trick. I think that's bad policy. I think there's a lot of students out there who are able to pay off their student loans. I think that we should certainly be delicate to the folks who are having a hard time, but I think it's also time for us to make sure that we're investing in the education that will be profitable for us going forward. So that would not be a good thing for this independent voter.
What about you, Jahmiel? Is student loan a big issue for you? Because a lot of Democrats believe that is a huge issue. Would that be something that would really put you squarely in the president's corner?
100%. I think, as I'm Black and coming from the Black community, Many people, regardless of skin color or political affiliation, taking out student loans or being in debt is a huge factor, whether you go to college or whether you go to grad school. I want to be a lawyer and I want to go to law school, and seeing how much loans I'd have to take out, it's very discouraging for us young people to look ahead in the future and see where do we fit in this economy, and just where do we find our footing in our pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, we wish you the best of luck on your journey as a lawyer. But I just want to ask you, Jahmiel, what would you tell people, the student loan thing, who actually paid off their debts, who actually didn't incur these debts?
Well, I think again, relitigating the past, I don't think that's the best foot forward. I think we have to look towards the future, whether that's educating people who are now in tons of debt or who want to go in debt but don't have creditors, who don't have people in their family who can co-sign. Mm-hmm. I think that's the real issue. People who were able to pay off their loans, I think that's great. They found maybe loopholes or they worked through the system, but it doesn't always work for everyone.
And your thoughts on this, Jaelyn?
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I think the previous generations were able to pay off their student loans, and granted, the cost of attending a higher or getting a higher education is higher than ever. But nothing is free, and someone's going to have to pay off that loan forgiveness, whether it's me paying for my education and someone else's. And I really don't think that's the right course of action. I think that need-based financial aid is one thing, but forgiveness of loans is another.
Yeah. Jaelyn, Jahmiel, Jake, thank you so much for coming on. We very much appreciate your insight and your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.